So I'm playing inside the car and looking at the turn signal lever, and just from the years it's got some little surface rust on it. I don't think that's going to clean up. So I went ahead and got a NOS turn signal lever. So I'm going to take the steering button off, the steering wheel off. We'll put that in. And while we got this all apart, we'll probably polish up that, make that look real good. But I think that'll look a lot nicer than that kind of dull, rusty piece. So I'm going to start by popping the horn button off, then we'll go for the steering wheel. So I took the button off, I've loosened the main nut, and now I'm going to run some bolts down here and here and put a puller on it. Unfortunately, I've pulled so many Studebaker steering wheels over the years. I've got the bolts, I've got the puller. So I'm going to slap that on, we'll take a look. So there's the puller on, pretty simple. Now I'm going to get a wrench, tighten this guy up, and the steering wheel should just pop right off. This is going way too easy. I just put a socket on there, it just went pop, and now this sucker is nice and loose, so I'm going to take the nut off, and we'll take the whole steering wheel off. Sometimes these things are really hard. This one was very kind. It popped right off. So now comes the easy part. And the kicker is I've got the wheels pointed straight ahead. I got the steering wheel pointed straight ahead because it's easy to clock this off a little bit and get the wheel not pointed right. So I have it all straight. So when I put it back on, I just want to put it on with this pointer at the 12 o'clock position, and we are good to go. Now we've got a standard late Studebaker steering column, standard turn signal cam and whatnot, but somebody has narfed up this fastener really bad. So I'm going to figure out how to take that off, and I know I've got to have a few extra of those, or that's probably a standard fastener, but I'm guessing with all the turn signal switches I've got another one of those. So I'm going to figure out how to take that off, and then I'll figure out another bolt. Well, not as bad as I thought. I just put a standard socket on there. It's coming off. You can see the turn signal flopping over there. So just loosen this screw, and it goes all the way through to the turn signal lever, turn signal arm. So you just loosen it, pull it out, throw it on the floor mat, and there it is. And then we're going to replace that with that. So just reverse the process, tuck that bad boy in, and we'll get that in on center. It's got to touch the back of that turn signal switch too. It's got a little, it nests right on that flat piece. So I got to jiggle that in there and get that on, and then that's threaded, and that's what the screw is going to go into. So I'm going to take a minute and wiggle that in, and we'll put the screw in. And before I pop it in, there's just a quick before and after, so you can see how much nicer that new one's going to look. A couple bucks from Studebaker International, and it just really perks up the appearance of the car. So definitely worth the effort to pop that in. Now we just reverse the process. We got the screw started, we got the arm in, and I know I can't do this one-handed. I'm just going to try to get the socket off, see if I can get that going. So we're just going to snug it up, but you got to make sure that it's nested properly in there. Yeah, it is. So we will get that snugged up. I'll tighten that with the wrench, but you can see that's now working. So I'll tighten that up, and we'll start putting the wheel back on. So just like it came off, we just pop it on the shaft, line up the 12 o'clock position, get her going, reach down here, pull out our nut and washer. We'll tighten those down, and we'll go from there. And we got this tightened up. Now I popped on the button retainer, and these two screws go with it, so I'll just run them down, and then it looks like that button just is kind of like a cam turn. I just slide it on and rotate it. We'll have it down. So I'll tighten those Phillips screws, and then we'll put the button on. As long as we got that button off, you can see that chrome needs just a little polish. And got my nice buffing wheel, some light compound. We're just going to touch it real quick and get her looking fresh. Yeah, that took all of 30 seconds to get that looking NOS. Just a little attention to detail just perks things up, and then the whole car looks great. And then we got the turn signal arm on, little levers on, and we got the horn button. Well, it's not the horn button, it's the center button because these guys do the horn, but we got that all tidied up. Looking good, so another little project under control. There's an easy detail job. You got that shift indicator and it's seen better days. So I picked up a new one. So we'll get that off 2 screws. Should be an easy job. Yep, that came off in multiple pieces. It was pretty beat up and the screws are kind of dingy, so got some fresh screws for it too. So again, with a little polish, clean up the chrome, put her all back together. There we go. Much better looking. The steering wheel has been repainted at some point, and it's got just a few little scratches and things on it. So I've got some paint to match it. Pretty close, almost spot on. So we'll take a touch-up stick and we will, there's a couple little scratches there, some stuff up there. So we're just going to tidy that up a little bit, get these things looking gray again. They also, when they installed the weather strip, not the weather strip, the trim panels, they used white adhesive. And if you look through here, this is the back quarter window, and so it's inside quarter panel. You can see there's a white adhesive all along in here, and with the window closed you can see that. So I'm also taking gray paint and I'm slowly covering all that up with gray so that it looks nice and even. So we'll keep working on that as well. Well, we got the paint touch-up done on the steering wheel, and these were the main areas that had a lot of chipping on them. So we taped them off, taped everything off around it, and just resprayed them. Looks nicer than having all the chip paint, and that looks nice with the turn signal and the horn button. Overall, the interior is really coming out nice.